Hi, in this video, I'm going to try out the pandas profiling package for stock data analysis. Feel free to jump to the part you see fit. This video is purely educational. It's not meant to be for any professional advice, so just be aware. So this is the demo iPad and notebook that I did last time. So let me just wipe out everything and restart it. So step 1 is to get some stock data from Yahoo Finance. Okay, just define a name. I'm going to get Bitcoin from Yahoo, so I define the stock as BTC USD. You can look up for this stock symbol from Yahoo Finance, and the start day is just pick whatever day. For end day, I have to import date time as DT because I need to return the latest date. So I need the datetime package. End day will be dt.datetime.today. Press Shift Enter just to avoid overloading the cell. When you see the number here, that means it can load up without any problem. And now I need the pandas package, right? So import pandas as pd, and I need the pandas data reader. So I will need to do the pd, which is the pandas package, pd.core.common.is list like. Actually, this one is just adding an attribute to the pandas core common object so that you can use the pandas data reader 0.5.0 like we did last time. So this is pd.api.types.is list like, and then we can use the pandas data reader as web. Press Shift Enter. Okay, so we don't have any problem. We define the stock start day, end day, right? Then we need to create a table which is called df data frame in pandas term. It has to call the data from pd.data reader. So we are going to get the stock, which is BTC USD, and then we use the Yahoo Finance method to look up for the data from the start day, which we defined earlier, and the end day. Usually I will load up the last 5 rows to see if I can get the data from web. Shift Enter. Oops. Oh, I see. So it shouldn't be PD because that is a pandas data reader object, so we should use web, which is defined here. Shift Enter again, and this time I should be able to load up the file. Before I move on, I need to pre-process the data a little bit. Let me just remove the close column. So I use the df.drop, and then the column name is enclosed in a single quote. So I'm going to drop the close column and rename the adjusted close column to be the new close column, just to avoid confusion. Close and then in place equals true. Okay, so let me just print out the last 5 rows to see if I can get rid of the row. Sorry about that. That maybe I need to define the columns and wrap it around with the curly brace. Shift Enter. So I just got rid of the close column. So now I'm going to rename the adjusted close column to be the close column. So let me just do df.rename. I use a curly brace to wrap around the column name, and then I use the single quote to wrap around adjusted close column. Use a colon to refer to the name that I'm going to rename to, which is close. Then I have defined the axis equals 1, which means I'm changing the column, not the row, and then it has to be in place equals true. So just make it permanent. Let me just print out the last 5 columns by df.tail. Shift Enter to run. So I just rename the adjusted close column to close column, right? Now I'm going to create a new column called day change here because we want to predict percentage change of close price tomorrow. df and then a square bracket, put in a new column name. I just call it day change. So it's going to be equal to the column of close dot pct underscore change. This one is a method. pcd dot change is just changing from previous day, so I didn't specify 1 or 2. If I don't put in anything, it's going to be the percentage change from the previous day. I just make it a percentage, so I press 100 and let me print out the last 5 rows. Shift enter. Wow, the Bitcoin dropped for 12%. Strange. Now we have the daily percentage change of close price from the previous day, and now we want to use the pandas profiling package to tell us the correlation between each factor, which is how close they act together. Let me just import pandas profiling as I just call it pp. I would run it first. If you're not using Collab, you might have to pip install pandas profiling in your virtual environment. But in Google Colab, I tried out last time. I didn't have to install. So let's see if I can still run the package now. Shift enter. Okay, we don't have any error message, so we can go ahead with the pandas profiling. Just call it result. It has a method called .profile report. So we are going to apply this method to the data frame, which is DF, the table that we got from Yahoo Finance. Let me print result or just do result. Shift enter. So it's going to load up a lot of the statistics about the table DF. You have the number of variables 7, which means we have 7 columns. The date, high, low, open, volume, close, and day change. They are also called factors. And the warnings have some information about how close the column close to the column open. So it's purely for education purpose. So let me look up for the correlation graph. Yeah, that is the heat map. So you see correlations. It has several types of calculations. So it can be Pearson, Spearman. Oh, only 2. Okay. I used to be able to select the type, but it only has 2 types here. So the Pearson and Spearman. It seems like none of the columns has close relationship with tomorrow's change. When high goes up, day change goes up. If you see deep red here, but you don't see it, it's just close to white. So it means close to 0. That means they're not very much correlated. If you see one of the columns that has red color here, that means this particular column has very close direct relationship with day change. Let's say if open has very close positive relationship with day change, it has a deep red color here, but it doesn't. Let's say if deep blue color appears on the open and the day change, that means when open goes up, day change goes down, and the other way around. That's the information this heat map can tell us. Of course, you can create more columns to the data frame, DF, like this one. You can add more columns here to check the correlation with the day change column. But I'm not going to do it here because it's going to be a very tedious task. I think the pandas profiling package is a very handy tool in our data analysis. Hopefully it helps. Thanks for watching.